to Queeniechi Says Cook. This is my Christmas special and I'm going to show you how to make a doggy-tastic, fantastical Christmas dinner for your dogs. And let's get started. I am going to be using today duck. Chi-Chi loves duck. I found out some time ago, quite by accident, that my dogs love Peking duck, crispy duck. Anyway, they love it, my dogs. They absolutely love it. So I thought, well, let's make some sort of version of it for their Christmas dinner. They didn't want the plain old thing that we would have at home. They didn't mind it, but I think they really like this. So what do you think, Cheech? Should we get started? I have a 2 kilo duck here, whole duck. Depends on what size you can get, but obviously if you've got a lot of dogs, or this would feed them all, or you could freeze it, or you could even have some yourself, because I'm telling you, it's delicious. So let's get my baking tray here. And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to put some carrots and celery, and maybe another carrot, and maybe another carrot. One more. Okay, so we've got the tray filled up, so you get the idea. The reason is because I'm going to put the duck on top of it, and it's going to let all the lovely fats and juices go into all of this, and we can make a gravy out of it later. So here we are with our duck, and we're going to make a rub. All you do is you make something up, you rub it all over it, put it into the baking tray, cook it, and it infuses while it's cooking like a marinade. So it's going to impart all those lovely flavours. And what we're going to use today is wonderful ginger. Now there's a nugget of ginger there. Leave the skin on. There's nothing wrong with the skin. All the goodness is under there. So you're going to grate it, and then you're going to use 2 cloves of garlic peeled, and then you're going to pop them into your pestle and mortar, like I've got, or you can use the end of a rolling pin. And what I've also put in there, oh, Chi-Chi's liking the idea of that, is some 5-spice blend. And in 5-spice, now let me remember, cloves, cinnamon, star anise, there is, oh, what else is in there? Help, what else is in there, cameraman?
Fennel seeds.
Fennel seeds. And one more thing, what else was it? Cloves, cinnamon, fennel seeds, star anise. Did I say cinnamon?
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's all the there's 5 things in it. It's lovely 5-spice. So you want 1 teaspoon of this in it. And then you're just going to mush it up like that into a lovely paste like that. Anyway, so once you've done that, I'll take that off there. You're going to take your rub. What do you think, cameraman? Can you see? Look, you can see it's like where the garlic is, the garlic and the ginger. Ginger's sort of shreddy, and it's gone in a sort of lovely paste there. So what we're going to do is get our duck and really rub it in and massage it in. So we want to get all those flavours imparted. So on the top, whoop, and turn it over, give it a good rub in. There's no oil, no fat, no nothing in this. Any bits like that aren't going in, you can just pop inside. Next thing we're going to do is, I'm just going to wash my hands under here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop inside fennel, half a fennel bowl. My dogs actually like this once it's cooked. It's a very aniseedy type of flavour, so only half a bulb will do. So I've got some chopped here already, so I'm going to pop that inside. And often, which is synonymous with duck, is orange. Now you just want to use a few pieces of chopped orange. Really, the reason behind this is actually to keep your duck moist. So there's a little bit of fluids coming out of the zest and the oil from the zest of the orange, and which is very good for actually if you've got an itchy dog. That's fantastic for them actually. But this is all going to add a little bit of flavour, and we're going to put our duck upside down, as I do with everything. Reason being is we want the rest of the meat to be juicy and tender and delicious, and impart all the flavours. So, whoops, lost that one, pop that back in. So I'm going to pop that in the oven. Mine actually needs to go in the oven at 180. Actually, it's 200, must admit. 200, I think it's for around about 1 hour 50. You have to read the packet, how big your duck is, and work out how long it needs to go in. But that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pop this in the oven. And while we're doing that, I'll show you how we're going to do the veg. Okay, so our duck is in the oven, and I just remembered it was black pepper. Actually, I didn't really remember, somebody just told me. So in the 5 spices. Okay, so I'm just going to start and show you what vegetables we're going to use. So I would like to use this time, this is actually a conqueta type of squash, but you can use butternut squash or any of the squashes. It is squash season after all. So this is absolutely delicious. And it's just got that lovely kind of, almost like a watermelon sort of, you know, or like a cucumber, that fresh, lovely smell. I've kept the seeds, of course, like pumpkin seeds they are. So we'll roast those later and use them for treats and serving. You can see my other video about that. Any squashes you want to use, you can use this. Really, you can just serve them whole. Just put it in the oven, cook it for 25 minutes. You don't have to do anything else. Just put that in the oven as it is. Today we're going to be using sweet potato. I'm trying to always get the variety that is orange inside. It's really good. Never take the skin off. All the goodness is underneath the skin. Try and get organic if you can. They're the best veggies to eat in my opinion. No pesticides, no nasties. Parsnips. Parsnips are absolutely fantastic for dogs. They're actually fantastic for humans too. I don't bother peeling. I don't top and tail. I don't do anything. Just chop them up. The thing about parsnips is you don't want to make them thin. So if you cut them long ways and then chop them this way, you're going to make them paper thin, and they just burn and crisp up. And they're just not very pleasant to eat. And also a lot of people put honey on them. And you can put raw organic honey on them for dogs if you want to. I don't bother with any of that because it actually just ends up burning and actually being rather unpleasant to eat. So, but they're just going to go in. So we're just going to chop some parsnips. So I'm just going to get my little Christmassy beaten up star Christmas tray. And what I'm going to put in there is our croqueta squash. I have some lovely chopped up, sweet potatoes. And my parsnips. Can you see I've put them in really quite big chunks? I'm not pre-boiling them. I'm not doing any of that. The reason is because if you put them in the oven at the same time as the duck, they'll all be cooked together. No hassle. Keep the skins on. You can eat the skins on these things. Lovely. So these are just the other side, the sort of fatter side of the squash here. This is butternut squash actually. So I've just made them like little horseshoes, or you can make them into these sort of cubes. They cook rather evenly then. So let's put them in there, put them in our tray. And just put the veggies in there. That'll do us for now. So we're going to put a spoon of our heavenly cold pressed extra virgin organic coconut oil. Now, there's been a lot of discussion about the coconut oil, and it's really good for dogs. It actually even helps them to lose weight, all sorts of brilliant uses. Check it out, it's fantastic. It's one of my favourite ones, and I also like to use Lucy B. So all of my dogs love it. So we're going to put a spoon. It's actually quite hard at this stage, so in the pot, but once it goes into the oven it will liquefy and coat all of this in lovely goodness. So what I'm going to do is just rub a bit all over. Not very glamorous, just a little bit, not too much. Okay, it's Christmas, it is a special time. Normally I would just probably pop them in the oven, not even roast, not even bother putting any oils or anything on. Obviously no salt and pepper. This is not for you, it's for your dog. But you know, hey, you can eat it and add salt if you really want to afterwards, but I think it's so flavoursome you don't have to. Next thing I'm going to add is one of my favourites. I'm a big fan of turmeric. It's got lots of lovely properties, lots of lovely anti-inflammatory properties. I usually use turmeric root in everything I use, but on something like this baking in the oven, I'll just use the powdered type. And you just want a tiny little bit of its golden deliciousness sprinkled on top. And then I'm going to pop cumin seeds. Now this just adds a lovely warm flavour to these vegetables, and it's one of my absolute favourites. The dogs love it too, don't be afraid. It is a kind of pungent flavour, a little bit like a curry leaf or something like that, but don't be afraid of it. If you don't like it, if you don't like those sort of things, or you think your dog will not like it, you can alternatively use fennel seeds, which is also in the 5-spice. Again, they're a more sort of earthy kind of flavour, and they look like that. In fact, let's pop a few fennel seeds on as well, and great for digestion problems as well. So I will pop them in the oven at just like that, exactly the same time as the duck, and let them get all sticky and gooey and delicious. So that's that. So we can pop them in the oven. See you for the next thing. The other thing I want to talk about is Brussels sprouts. Here they are. You either love them or you hate them. My dogs love them. They like kale, they like broccoli, they like anything really that's a bit sort of smelly, I guess. And in our house, they're actually called fart grenades. Doesn't affect our dogs in any way, I've got to say, unless I just don't notice it. But basically, they are absolutely delicious. Little tiny weeny green packed cabbages, if you like. So they grow on a stalk and they grow all along it in little bobbles, and they're delicious, really. And the dogs actually like them al dente, so they just want them cooked for a few minutes. So what you need to do is just take off the outside if it really needs taking off. I'm telling you, if it's just a little bit brown and like that, what harm is it going to do to anyone? Eat it. All you do is pop them in a pan, just a little bit of water, no salt, no nothing, just a tiny bit of water, lid on, cook them for sort of about 8 to 10 minutes, drain them and cut them in half. And here they're already done. I've put a little bit of goat's butter on top just to give them that gloss. I don't know if you can see they're shiny and glossy. They're delicious and tasty, so they're going to go into our meal as well. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my style. I'm often asked about my hair and how I like to do things. And anyway, today my hair is in honour of my very, very favourite chef, Gizzy Erskine. And here is a picture of Gizzy. I watched her video on how to do hair, and I tried as much as I could. It's my first time, so I'm hoping everybody thinks it looks lovely. I thought it looked a bit like wedding hair, first of all, but actually, I think it's a bit cooler now. I've got the little Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in it. Anyway, I hope you like it. And yes, of course, I'm wearing the black chef's outfit, and I'm looking very glamorous today and Christmassy.